Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Jianu, pakhair agale, ni hao, chune shume, washmale, ohio gonzaimas, guten morgen, hi, hugs and hellos. Hola, bonjour, privyet, and thank you very much for tuning into PT World. You're watching World this morning alongside Maha Makhdoom and the very late Shazad Khan. Hello, Maha, how are you?
Hello, Shazad. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Shazad, you've changed the pattern of your hellos. Like, that rhythm isn't there anymore. There's repetition now.
And it's because of the fact that,
You forgot Privyet,
Yeah.
Guten Tag,
Yeah.
like all these.
No, but it's because of the fact that I do not want to stay with the same tempo because, then you get habitual and then you're not open to newer ideas. So that's why, I want to change it. Some days there, when I say hi, hugs and hellos before previous hola or bonjour. But then there are other days where I say hi, hugs and hellos after previous bonjour.
Okay, yeah, it throws me off. But anyway, so
Why?
Why are you late? Like, why are you not feeling good?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And I think my father might be right in front of the television right now. So what happened? So my mother wakes me up at 7:30. She did. I woke up, but I slept again.
Oh, no, that's the problem.
And then he sends my nephew upstairs at 8:30, and I just woke up. So
Okay, excellent. I'm glad you made it because we have
that
a
was
very
bad.
important...
What about you?
I'm good, and then we have a very important show today. So
I know.
let's get started with the top stories because we have a lot to cover today.
Let's do it. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi said the Senate and general elections will be held as per schedule.
Nations have pledged $445 million to care for Myanmar's Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. The United Nations said it is an encouraging step in the response to the intensifying crisis.
The world's largest known fancy intense pink diamond, the Raj Pink, was on display at a preview in Hong Kong. A lady's best friend.
Mexican Jonathan Paredes capitalized on a late mistake by six-time champion Gary Hunt to win his maiden Red Bull cliff diving World Series title in Chile. Amazing.
You need guts to do that. But Pakistan thrashed Sri Lanka by 9 wickets in fifth and final one-day international at Sharjah and complete whitewash in one-day series. Good work, Team Green.
Go Green.
You already went green.
And finally, a motorcar rally to mark the 70th Independence Year arrived in Islamabad on its third leg of its journey to Gwadar.
Wow.
There's a lot of motor activities happening within Pakistan.
I so wanted to own a heavy bike, but
Okay.
my father didn't allow me.
Okay, so now let's quickly move on to our public service message so we can start the show.
Let's do it.
And our public service message is we're going to keep repeating ourselves until we start seeing these behaviors in society. But health is wealth, not to be cheesy, but it's very important that we look after ourselves and we go for our regular checkups. The weather's changing. It doesn't matter which part of the world you're in. Every 6 months or at least a year, you should go and get a full body blood test, everything, because you don't know what's happening, because there's stresses in life, there's things that you're eating. So it's best to be aware, and prevention is better than cure.
Exactly, and I think this is in line with what we're going to talk about today,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen. Today is a day where I think Pakistanis, Nepalis, and Afghanis need to probably focus more on what we are doing or what our actions are probably telling us to do because of the fact that it is World Polio Day
Yes.
today.
I'm sorry, just to correct you, it's not
Sure.
Nepalese, it's Nigerian.
Okay, Nigerian, thank you very much for saying that because I just read the word "n."
Yes.
I was in a
Okay.
bit of a hurry. But I think that what we need to do is that we need to focus on where we went wrong and what we have to do.
Okay, no, and also not just about focusing where we went wrong, it's seeing how we got to that stage, but what are the steps that's being taken to make sure that it's being eradicated? Because the situation has gotten better. Despite what you've been hearing in the media, a few years ago we had over 300 cases. Last year there was 20 cases. And in 2017, in November, there's only been 5 reported cases of polio. So something is being done. The health workers out there are working. And we need to also celebrate them as well, because by constantly criticizing, you are also demoting the people within your nation who are trying to make things better.
Exactly, and we're almost there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I think what we need to do is that we need to stand up with the community as well. We need to promote, we need to say things which matter to us.
Exactly, and the theme this year is frontline health workers, Sehat Muhafiz. That means the guardians of your health, and is paying tribute to the frontline health workers braving all hurdles. So let's introduce to our guests. We've been very lucky. We've been able to be joined by people who are working firsthand on this. We've been joined by Senator Aisha Raza Farouk. She is the Prime Minister's focal person on polio eradication.
Hello, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for working so hard, because last night when I was researching about polio eradication in Pakistan, I think the only person I could see was you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today. Besides Senator Aisha, we've been joined by Syed Jawad Muzaffar. He is the Additional Deputy Commissioner, Islamabad. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Besides Syed Jawad Muzaffar, we've been joined by Dr. Mohsin Hassan. He is a child specialist at IHS Children's Hospital, Islamabad.
And a very smiley face.
Yes,
thank you
very much knowledgeable as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. It is great to have you guys. So now, before we indulge in any conversation, I think what we need to do is that we need to share a clip with you guys. So just go ahead, take a look at this, and then when you guys are going to come back, we'll definitely talk about where are we in terms of polio eradication. Good morning.
Okay, so that is the polio campaign that is happening underway in Pakistan at the moment. So we're going to pose the first question to Senator Aisha, the importance of this day, and also where is Pakistan today?
Well, first, thank you for inviting us and for celebrating World Polio Day. This is a day that is celebrated worldwide to commemorate the birth of Jonas Salk, who was the first person who led this team to develop a vaccine against polio. And the entire world celebrates this day also to create awareness against the disease and to sort of pay tribute to our brave frontline vaccinators who go door to door to protect our children against a vaccine that cripples for life. It has no cure, but it can be easily prevented through this vaccine that we give to our children in the country. As far as the polio epidemiology is concerned in our country here, we had, when we ended the year 2014, we did so with 306 cases. But we've gradually, through very hard work, have consistently brought that down. It came down to 54 into the year later, to 20 last year, and today we're down just to 5 cases in the year 2017 as compared to 18 same point in time last year. So things are looking very good, but there's been tremendous progress. But we realize this is a zero-sum game, and we are not yet reached zero.
Okay, so then I think we need to move on to Dr. Mohsin, because we need to find out about why we haven't reached down to zero. We're one of 3 countries which are still, it's lingering in our country. What's the reason for that?
I think first you have to congratulate us that we have decreased to 5 in number in 2017.
It is
as Dr. Aisha said, that we are gradually decreasing the cases down. So the stories, the results tell the story. So we are succeeding, and we are because we have to convince the people to take the oral polio vaccine, and we are convincing them, and they are now convinced, and that's why we have now reduced the number to number 5.
Very nice. But let's not put it on the government, because when you say that, we have to convince the people, what was the problem with people where they said that we do not want an oral vaccine, or what?
Actually, previously it was thought that some hormones was included in the vaccine, and now it is proved there is no hormone, and it is the same vaccine which have been used all over the world, which eradicated the polio. Even in the US, the same vaccine was used, and we are using the same one. And this vaccine is available all over Pakistan, and it is imported only by the government of Pakistan, making full protocols, full SOPs, in a proper cold chain, and they imported to Pakistan. Even in private sector, we are getting them from government.
Okay.
But is it hard to convince all of those people within the rural areas as well?
Yes, it is hard. But now, as the government is doing utmost, and Dr. Aisha, she is taking a personal interest, and the administration, what they are doing now, they are taking on board our religious scholars, and now even the Imam-e-Kaaba has given the fatwa that it is totally halal, and they are using renowned doctors for this, convincing the people, and the influential local people. And now the people are convincing. You are seeing the results. We are getting better, mashallah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, so now so basically, to get people to change their minds, to get people to change their minds, you said that they're going to get this the vaccinations. But Aisha, what was done in order to change people's minds? Because it didn't just happen. The health workers were out there, campaigns were taken underway by the government. So what else was being done?
Because we did a show in 2013 or 14 as well, and then whoever came on the show, what they said was that we are almost at the brink, we are just going to eradicate it. But it's been 3 years down the line.
The program was completely reinvigorated post 2014 here. Lots of steps were taken. We set up a network of emergency operation centers around the country. The program is now scientifically driven. We're relying on both data and operational research to strategize and make decisions over here. You've spoken about, how we changed perceptions out there. Pakistan today has the highest polio vaccine acceptance rate in the world.
Okay.
And that was brought about through very, very hard work, where we revamped our communication strategy. So we placed the vaccinator at the center of our polio eradication effort. So we built trust around him and her. You've spoken about Sehat Mohafiz. So very recently we've started a campaign which says, I too am a guardian of health, which sort of is trying to elicit community ownership here, creating peer pressure. So telling people, each one of us sitting here and in the community is responsible for our children's health. We've also, so the communication strategy was changed over here.
Okay.
And I think the bottom line here really was a committed political government, starting from the Prime Minister, who's leading the effort, providing personal oversight over here, and the same level of commitment then trickles down at the provincial level to chief ministers and chief secretaries and to our DCs and commissioners, and we have our ADC right here.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think it is their personal leadership here at the grassroots level in implementing the campaigns, which helps us in sort of better coverage every time.
Wonderful,
Exactly,
and leads perfect
yeah,
into the
but
next one.
before we move on to our ADC, there's one more thing which I wanted to ask, and that was that, do you think that we might have procrastinated because of the terrorism within the state, which was earlier existent?
Security was certainly an issue back in 2013 when the country witnessed the highest number of cases ever in its polio eradication history. But thanks to our law enforcement agencies who've supported us throughout, they paid the ultimate sacrifice with lives over here. But today the program has consistent access to all children everywhere. Our polio vaccinators operate in a climate of, free from fear or threats, anything. So I do think that's helped us, quite
So let's move on to Jawad Sahab over here. So we are paying rich tribute to Sehat Mohafiz, and I think when everybody is going door to door, it's pretty much your job to look after them as well. Was it difficult back in 2013, and how do you think is the scene now?
Well, certainly, as Madam has also pointed out, that we have improved a lot, and I believe this is because of the coordination and the implementation part, and the administration is all the time involved in it. And if we look today, you can see that we have the international organizations, the partners who are cooperating and who are supervising this, and they can also tell very effectively that the program on ground has now improved a lot.
Okay.
And as Madam has said that, yes, we had security issues as well. Other than this, we have to see this, that the locality we are in, we have continuous immigrants coming from across, and this also becomes one of the factor that Pakistan today has a little cases right
That's a
now,
very
although we are
interesting
doing a
point.
lot.
Okay,
Yes.
now this is a very interesting point because I
Yes.
think within the media as well, we've seen a lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths being thrown out there. I mean, even abroad, you're having all these immunization, autism and paralysis, and like you said, hormones are being put in. Senator Aisha, how important do you think it is that when a country is going through a crisis like that, it's very important to make sure that the media, I mean, I'm not asking them to be biased or project lies or propaganda, but how important is it to be balanced in order to make sure that a developing country can actually make its road to development?
Exactly.
I think the role of the media here cannot be overemphasized, really. It is very important. Today you have electronic media in every home out there. And the media has helped us quite a bit in the recent past in sort of overcoming the misconceptions that revolve around the polio program, the vaccine itself. As Dr. Saab has just shared with us, this is the same vaccine that was used by all Islamic countries out there to interrupt and eradicate polio transmission. And that is something that we continuously reinforce. And it is through your programs, the media out there, that we've tried to create this trust around our vaccinator. And through our operational research, through research that was done that helped us show that there is a huge acceptance for the vaccine. People are willing to get their children protected against polio. So yes, the media has a very, very responsible role to play here.
But initially it was because of the media that people actually were forced to believe that there was infertility within the vaccines, which obviously does not exist, and now people really relate to that as well.
Yes.
But how did you overcome that? It was very difficult, and then all of those media houses projecting that in the first place, now they're saying the
Even
other
now,
thing.
I mean, we know it's not true, but you're like, well,
Because
you
my
never
daughter
know.
has been actually drinking all of those drops whenever the Sehat Muhafiz came to our house.
Oh, okay.
But there were people within the rural areas where they thought that, there might be something wrong with the vaccine.
It was an uphill task,
Yeah.
let me be honest with you. So we did not rely just on the media over here, but we worked with our pediatricians, key influencers in societies and communities at the grassroots level. We engaged with them, whether it was religious scholars, whether it was ulama, there were khatibs out
Great.
there, tribal elders in our northern areas. So we engaged all of them. We also work with more than 2,000 social mobilizers
Wow.
who work in our high-risk areas. We've recently embarked upon a strategy of community-based vaccinators. These are primarily females who belong to the same community. People trust them to what they say. So that strategy has helped us overcome all the misconceptions that you're referring to over here. And on a lighter note, if you look at the population growth rate in our country, I mean, if we were to look at the numbers there, it doesn't make sense. We've
Exactly.
been vaccinating our children with the same vaccine since 1988. So, I mean, if
And
there were
I think,
anything.
and
That's
I think
absolutely
what
the
we can
point.
do is that we can probably move on to Dr. Saab over here to tell us about the vaccine a little bit more, so that there are no cases within 2017. Why we will look forward to 2018?
Actually, as there is a myth that in people that if they have taken injectable polio vaccine, they are not getting oral polio. They have not be need of any oral polio vaccine. This is wrong. The injectable polio vaccine only save the child. While the oral polio vaccine not only saving the child, but it also saves the community, because the oral polio vaccine makes the local response in the gut or digestive system when a viral polio virus comes to the digestive system, it kills, and when it sheds by the feces, it is already dead. So the oral polio vaccine is not saving the child, but it is saving the community.
And what happens
I
with the
see.
injectable?
Injectable will provide the overall immunity.
Alright.
And one thing I must tell you that in every oral polio vaccine should be, in every campaign, the child should be given the oral polio vaccine.
Not the injectable.
Because,
And we
no,
have one.
injectable is another thing.
Oh, you've got something with you.
Yes. One thing I just want to show you that this is, if a camera focuses it, this is a VVM, this is a heat marker. And this is the right
Zoom
of,
in a bit.
Zoom in a bit.
Zoom in a bit, guys.
this is a right of every patient or every parents to see this VVM while giving the polio vaccine. If it is white or light gray, it is, this vaccine is okay. But if it turns to dark gray or black or becomes same color with the this round one, it do not give to your child.
Okay.
And you must see this.
Say,
And
say it once again, because now
This
they can
is-
see the
Yeah,
bottom.
if you just hold it up a bit more straight because
Yeah.
the light is reflecting.
this is
on
the
it.
VVM or heat marker. You have to see, this is your right to see before giving the vaccine to your child. If it is white or light gray in color, this vaccine is good to give. But if it becomes dark gray or black or becomes same color with this round purple one, you will not give this vaccine to your child.
Okay,
Okay,
excellent.
so you
So
must see
Syed
this.
Muhafiz, please be careful.
And that's where we're going to be leading on to next, because the theme is about the frontline health workers. So what we're going to do now is going to go for a short break, and when you come back, we're going to talk about what's happening with the training, how did the health workers overcome it, because you need support from the government and the community in order to have such a huge improvement within the number of cases.
Exactly, and even other than that, I think what we need to do is today we need to actually remember all of those lives, all of those people who've lost their lives because of the fact that they were very helpful within the polio eradication campaign as well. So I think we're going to pay a rich tribute to them as well.
Exactly.
So good morning, we're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
The largest cultural activity in Pakistan is the annual National Folk Festival, Lok Mela, held in Islamabad in October each year. Over the past 2 decades, this festival has taken on an international flavour, and more than 20 different countries have sent their artisans and performers to participate in the festival. Nationally, the festival has become a thing of pride for artisans and performers who come on their own to participate. Most important of all, the provinces of Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir put up beautifully decorated pavilions, and visitors had the unique opportunity to see an assortment of Pakistan's traditionally rich culture in the federal capital of Islamabad for an exciting 10 days. An exhibition of artisans at work under the banner of the Heritage Museum forms the core of this festival. Pavilions of each province depict their own regional culture and crafts. The Research and Media Centre of Lok Virsa arranges groups of dancers that perform all over the festival grounds, inviting visitors to join in, and in the evening arranges music concerts from all parts of Pakistan. This festival is a true depiction of the diversity found in Pakistani culture. Fairs and Festivals of Pakistan.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are observing World Polio Day today because we are one of the last 3 countries which have it within our country, and we are doing a lot. Pakistan, the government, the civil society, people are working together to try and eradicate polio because it is something that is completely preventative and it's not curable. So we've been having a wonderful conversation.
And
Shazad has a question.
and Maha, even earlier, you know, it wasn't actually on the government because of the fact that you know, there were people who were actually going door to door as well, but it was just our people, our community, who never wanted to have the vaccine. So it wasn't government's fault anyways.
It's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
moving
lack
on
of
to-
awareness,
yeah.
it's a lack of
So moving on to Dr. Mohsin, first of all, because we need to get rid with that
finish the question.
information related to the vaccine, and that is that, you know, every year we do get people who actually come, ring the doorbell, sir, ghar mein koi bachcha hai, ji hai, and then they give the vaccine to the kid as well. So repetitive vaccine after every year, do you think it can damage us or it cannot? What are the effects?
It is totally safe.
Okay.
And it is safe. You can imagine that we can give this vaccine to even a 1-day-old child. It's a newborn. And the second thing is that we have a receptors in digestive system. When that receptors filled 100%, the oral polio vaccine, if you have taken the excess of that, it will go out without giving you any harm.
So even I can have it
Yes,
as many
you can.
times as I want?
Yes, no, nothing will happen. You can
Okay.
take it. You can try
You shouldn't
it.
do it, but yeah, okay.
You can try it. Nothing will happen.
Okay, excellent. And on that note, we have a little video to share with you. Let's go take a look, and when you come back, we'll continue our conversation.
Yeah, it's getting better.
So that was a little bit about the polio disease which people get. Now, we also have some more information we're talking about during the video. Which people should stay away from polio? Not stay away, but...
in cases,
in
for
cases.
example, if they are not well.
The pregnant
Okay.
women and the immunocompromised patients,
Okay.
cancer patients, they should
Okay.
not have taken.
Only if they're getting chemotherapy done.
And
Ladies
also, I
and
think
gentlemen,
you
you have
should-
to be focused on that.
And like going back to our public service message, go to your general physician, get proper advice. Now let's move on to Sayyid Jawad, because today's theme is about the frontline workers, and you are looking after the Islamabad area. What's happening within our immediate region regarding polio eradication?
Well, first of all, we organize the training programs along with these international organizations.
Okay.
And other than this, for strategic work, we have identified high-risk areas. And while if we talk about Islamabad, Islamabad and Pindi, they are considered as one block. And we have most high-risk areas on the border areas. But the good thing is that since 3 months, we have taken the sample from the high-risk areas and they are coming negative. So that shows that all the effort that have been put in by the frontline workers, by the administration, by the government, it's reaping the root.
So when we refer to high-risk areas, which areas are we referring to?
Actually, these are those areas where the population is more
Dense?
where dense and low literacy rate is over there, and again the migrants that have come to those areas. So those are being considered as the most vulnerable and high risk areas.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very sorry, Maha, that I'm intervening and what you wanted to ask, I'm
Fine.
not letting you. But there's one question which I wanted to ask, and that is, you met Bill Gates, and you guys definitely talked about eradicating polio from your nation, right, or from within the country. What did you guys talk about, really?
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a very important partner in Pakistan's polio eradication drive over here, along with the WHO and UNICEF, as well as Rotary here.
Yeah.
So they help us with the technical advice also. They've helped us establish these emergency operation centers around the country. So Mr. Gates wanted to meet us and find out, how we were doing vis-a-vis polio eradication, and was actually very happy with the efforts that have been made so far. And they sort of show up very clearly in the virus epidemiology here, in shrinking genetic clusters in the country, in the kind of surveillance network that we've set up. It's the largest polio surveillance footprint in the world today, giving us a lot of confidence that we'll be able to find, detect, and respond to virus anywhere in the country in a very, very timely and effective manner here. So yes, so that was very, very reassuring for myself and for this brilliant team that I lead across the country, our frontline workers. I think it's a tribute to all of them for the great work that they're doing to help us reach the finish line, which is very much in sight, but as you know, the last mile is usually the most difficult to cover.
Exactly.
Okay, no, absolutely. And because we are so close, this year's been 5 reported cases, which is fantastic. But we've already discussed about the other countries which are still having polio. Now, we are neighboring with one of those countries, which is Afghanistan. How does that affect, the migration? It's not that anyone's placing blame, but how does that affect our efforts to eradicate it from this country?
Pakistan and Afghanistan are one single epidemiological block as far as the polio virus is concerned.
Okay.
We share a long porous border with Afghanistan. There are thousands of people moving across every day. So, and we call this the high-risk mobile population. Not only are people crossing across this international border, but at any given point in time in our country, there's hundreds and thousands of people on the move for various reasons. There are seasonal nomadic movements taking place. People move for economic reasons. There's seasonal labor on the move and so forth. So as far as movement of, to and fro between Afghanistan and Pakistan is concerned, we are coordinating very closely with them. So we're synchronizing our campaigns. At the same time, we're sharing information. We've just recently developed with Afghanistan a joint program for Southern Corridor, which is Southern Afghanistan and our Quetta block, which is a high-risk polio reservoir area for Pakistan. And then we're vaccinating people who are moving across, children at the age of, below the age of 10 years also, whereas the target population within the country is 5 years and below, but there we've raised it to 10 years to make sure that no one carries the virus across the country. So yes, I think we all understand, and so do our technical advisors who guide the program, international experts here, that if Pakistan alone cannot eradicate polio from the region, both countries have to do so simultaneously. So it's very important for us to engage and coordinate very closely with them. As far as population on the move within the country is concerned, there are two different strategies we follow. We need to be very sure that children do not miss their vaccination during such movement over here. So the first part of the strategy is that our teams on the ground ensure that families who are moving, their new abode is registered so that they're included in the upcoming campaigns. Then the second part strategy is that we've set up these permanent vaccination points at borders, provincial borders, district borders, at gatherings, railway station, bus stations. So such people on the move are vaccinated while they're on the move over there. So this poses to be a challenge for the program going forward also, and we'll continue to work very closely to ensure that children on the move do not miss vaccination.
Amazing, and I think I just got a brilliant idea. Well, we are very late for that, and that is that when our consensus teams were going out, I think we should have actually sent a Sayyid Muhafiz alongside them as well.
You know, we thought about that, but we didn't want to mix too many things here.
Yeah. So Dr. Mohsen, you wanted to add?
Yes, I just want to tell you, just summarizing our success, that there are 3 types of polio viruses, 1, 2 and 3.
Okay.
And
Very basic
Alhamdulillah,
types,
Alhamdulillah, Pakistan has get rid of type 2 in 1999, type 3 in 2012, only type 1 is remaining. Inshallah, in 2018, we will get rid of.
Inshallah. And one last thing, and that is from Senator Aisha, obviously. So, since 2015, well, you have been a senator. Before that, you were a member of National Assembly. How do you think the leadership responds to that?
You know, polio eradication is one area that enjoys broad political and popular support in the country. It's our national imperative, really. And whether it was our ex-Prime Minister, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, or our Prime Minister, Shahid Khaqan Abbasi, they're both, they're very, very committed to the cause. Polio eradication has been declared a national health emergency. I'm wearing 2 hats. One of, I'm representing my party. The other is of Prime Minister's focal person on polio here. But I think we've, one success factor here has been keeping the program apolitical. You know, health is a devolved subject, and really the success of the program lies in ensuring that teams on the ground, our provincial teams, district teams own the program, that they ensure this properly implemented to give us the levels of coverage that we require to build the kinds of immunity to make it a success out there. And I think, Alhamdulillah, just as we've seen the kind of everyone coming together for security and law and order in the country, we see the same kind of commitment for polio eradication also.
Amazing. And going back in time, I might not be there in the world then, but this is when I was doing my research, so I read about it, and that was that, when it was in Pakistan, that there was a disease known as smallpox. So I do not know how people actually fought with that, but if we were able to get over that menace, I think we'll be able to do that too.
So Senator Aisha, Dr. Mohsen's bug.
That's fine. By the way, a lot of people think I'm a doctor, but that
you have a lot of knowledge on the subject.
A lot to talk about, smallpox was the first disease that was eradicated worldwide, and now this is the second disease that, if we're successful in eradicating from our region and the world, it'll be a huge success there also. And to think of what we're going to leave behind as legacy for our coming generations. No one will ever need to suffer from this virus that cripples for life over here. So through your program, I'd like to urge everyone listening in, tuning in today, all caregivers out there, all parents, that our vaccinators are doing a tremendous job by trekking the length and breadth of Pakistan, irrespective of the weather. There's rain, there is 40 degrees plus weather, there is snow in our northern areas. Please give them the due respect that they deserve when they knock at your door. Please bring your children below 5 years of age to the doorstep. Ensure that they are vaccinated every time in every polio drive out there. Till there's polio virus in the country, none of the children out there are safe.
And let's give our sales office a big round of applause
Yes.
as well. You guys
Yes,
are the
certainly.
heroes. Literally, you
Absolutely.
guys are the heroes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining us. It was
Thank you
lovely
so
to
much.
be in conversation with all of you, and we'll definitely have you next year as well.
Yes, and hopefully telling us
Inshallah,
how
with
it's
no-
all gone.
With zero polio.
With
Yeah.
zero
yeah.
cases. But thank you so much for joining us. A very important subject. And, you know, we hope we were able to give you guys some more information. We certainly learned a lot as well. And, you know, it's very easy to criticize, but, you know, there's a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of, you know, day-to-day struggles here. So whoever is trying to make this society and community better, we need to support them. And we need to also celebrate them.
Exactly, that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any more thing to ask, what you can do is that you can probably write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of,
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
And this fabulous repeat's going to be
At 11 p.m., 11:05 p.m. this evening. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Thank you very much.